lick number 120. What I've decided to do with this lick is to, it's not really going to be just one lick. I'm not going to include tablature with it, I don't think. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of jam with this laid back blues and give you some ideas of how to use the blues scale. I'm going to point out a few areas of the blues scale first. So we have this chromatic part of the blues scale. We're using a G blues scale here. Let me play through the scale once. I've shown this before. I think in lesson, I think it was lick 114 that I covered the actual blues scale. I went up it and down it for the lick. So you have it in 114 and the tablature is there. But I just want to run through the scale itself right now, just to show you the whole range of the scale in this form here, just this first form here. So we're in the G blues and we're doing this. Now I want to mention in terms of the root being the G, we are in G blues scale. The notes are the root, we have a flat third, we have a fourth, sharp fourth or flat five, flat seven, root, third, a minor third. I don't know if I mentioned minor third. There's a flat third there. There's the octave of the flat third. Here's the fourth, sharp four again, or flat five. Here's the fifth, flat seven, root, and flat third there. So what makes this scale different than a regular G minor pentatonic? A minor pentatonic would have a root, a flat third, a fourth, a fifth, and a flat seven. The blues scale adds this sharp fourth or flat five degree. So the blues scale has this little chromatic passing from the fourth to the fifth in both octaves. So we can make use of that chromatic and bring out the sound of this scale. I'm going to kind of go through a little bit of the jam track and do that here. Now watch how much mileage we can get out of this little chromatic area. So I went right up it and down it. I'm just in the lower register on the 6th string, 5th string, a little bit on the 4th string. There's that chromatic again. And just kind of aimlessly going through this, it almost starts to sound like we know what we're doing just by just putting these notes in and staying in this little area here. Now I'm not thinking of what chord I'm on here. I'm not thinking of the 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. Just kind of following my ear. Like here I'm landing on the root of the 1 chord. Now 4 chord root is here, so I might want to, if I want to think about where I am in the chords, I may want to bring out the sound of that root of the 4 chord. Now we're back to the 1 chord. Here's the root of the 1 chord. Here's the root chromatic approach using the blues notes to the root of the 5 chord, and then the 4 chord goes back to the 4 there, and then the 1 chord. Again, I've just stayed in this little 3-string area down here, 4th, 5th, and 6th string. So let me talk through the chords here. This is the 1 chord. Let me start that again. I stopped it by accident. Let me talk through what's going on with the chords here. 2 and a 3 and a 4. So we start on the 1 chord, which is a G. We do a short 4 chord, which is a C chord, C9 chord, back to the 1 chord. So measure 1 is the 1 chord, measure 2 is the 4 chord, measure 3 and 4 is the 1 chord. So here's measure 5 and measure 6, we're on the 4 chord. And we're back to the 1 chord for measures 7 and 8. We're going to go up to the 5 chord for measure 9, to the 4 chord for measure 10, and then back to the 1 chord for measure 11. And part of measure 12 is the 1 chord, and then we just hit the 5 chord for a quick turnaround the last 2 beats of measure 12. So let me start that again. So again, I played in the lower register. Let me play in the octave higher register now. Again, giving you a little bit of an idea of how to make use of this chromatic blues notes adding here. And really, for a lot of this, I'm really just using my ear and just kind of stopping when it sounds like I've hit a good solid note that goes with the chords. There's the root again. Sometimes I'm thinking where I am in terms of the root of each of the chords or whatever, the thirds or fifths. And we can intersperse the regular pentatonic and then put in the blues note sometime. Another good thing to do, interesting thing to do, is to go from this note here, 5th fret, 3rd string, and bring in the blues note, but bend up to it instead of playing it, instead of fingering it, just bend it. And again, when I bend, I'm backing up the bend with whatever fingers I have available underneath. I've mentioned this quite a bit. And another thing is you can either go up to half step. A lot of times this blues note, we actually don't go up the complete half step. We may do like a quarter step. Just give a little bit of a taste of the bend rather than the full half step. There's that partial bend again. You can bend this string either way, by the way. We can either go push up or down. Now here's a full half step. But again, we can use that little partial bend, which gives a little bit of a yearning sound to it or whatever. Another technique I use a lot is just a half step below approach to certain notes. Just a little slide up to certain notes. So say this 5th fret of the 3rd string, I might approach it from, it's not part of the scale, the 4th fret is not part of the scale, but I might approach the 5th fret from a half step below. Do something like that. In the same way, I might approach, say, the 3rd fret of the 3rd string from a half step above that same note. So I could either use a half step there, or maybe a whole step. The full range. We can go right up and down the scale if we want. Here's just those blues notes. I mean, that's the actual blues note there, but just you can kind of repeat them sometimes and get into a little pattern thing. just going to play a little bit. Using some pre-bends. Pre-bend is bending up first, and then releasing, hitting the note on the bend, and then releasing. Okay, that blues track kind of ends unceremoniously in terms of the chords that goes at the end there. But anyways, so that's what I'm going to show you for lick number 120. And really there was a bunch of licks in there, and just trying to give you some ideas of what you can do with the blues scale, and just trying to throw out some ideas there. So again, that's it for lick number 120. And there's no specific tab to go along with this lick. So just kind of watch the video and try to get some ideas of making use of this blues scale. So again, that's it for lick number 120.